Good evening. Our dear Shu style Amud Yomi Shir. Baruch Hashem, Masechet Shabbos. Today is Daf Yud Dalid Amud Aleph. We're still in Yud Gimel in the Amud base in the very bottom of the page. So instead of just being scared of it, let's just deal with it. Yeah, Tumah V'Tara is not as scary as you think. We're just not so used to these halachas, but this is a good chance for us to get a better knowledge of Tumah Zevtara. This is a very, very, very basic list, I would say. This year's if for Lilu Nishmas Avimur, Menachem Akiva, Atzloch of all the gay kidnapped people Aleinu, the Shidduch Toiv of Ahuva Shir Liba Basas Tafuma. So Tumah V'Tara, Avatuma, I'm ignoring Avi Avasatuma because it's not so relevant right now. That's a dead person. As long as we're alive, good. So now Avatuma, I would say, is the generator of all tumas. For example, is sheretz, yeah, or nevela. A dead animal, for example, is a sheretz. Okay, a sheretz can make rishon latuma. Rishon latuma is the one below. And rishon latuma would be adam, kelim, people, human beings, kelim, vessels, and foods. Yeah, all kinds. Rishon Tuma, which is susceptible to receive Tuma from the main generator of Tuma, are people. Adam, sorry, it doesn't go so nicely here. Adam, yeah. Kalim, vessels, and of certain types, food. Now, a Rishon Latuma can make a Sheni Latuma, right? Sheni Latuma, that's important to know because Sheni Latuma is the star of the show today. A Sheni Latuma, Midoraisa, is only oichlin v'mashkin, only foods and drinks. Yeah, oichlin umashkim, only foods and liquids and potable liquids. Oichlin mashkim, they can become sheni. Okay, now hulin, regular food, regular things that are not truma and not kodshim. Truma and kodshim are always like one level. Truma and kodshim 2 levels above hulin. So Oichlin Mashkin for Chulin, that's the last stop. For Chulin, that's it. Right? And that's called Psul. Psul is the last station in the train. Right? Okay. Now, what about Truma? Let's say you have Sheni. If the Shlishi is Truma, not Tuma, then that makes the Truma Tome. Right? Oichlim, by the way, Oichlim can only do Mashkim and Mashkim only do Oichlim. Right? Get it? In other words, that's midrabanan. Yeah, that's what it was. Oichlim can't make oichlim tom and vice versa. Maybe there are exceptions. Every word I say is about 500 sugis. We're talking in general. So now the oichlim, yeah, make truma shlishi. Yes, so truma can become shlishi also tome, mashkim and oichlim of truma, oichlim of truma only truma. But there's one more. Wow, look, Revi. What's a V? Again, for Truma, that's the last stop. And this is Chulin over here, right? The last stop is Kochim. Kochim is even more Chomor. And Kochim can become Tome, Midrabanon, even by the 4th level. Also, Mamashkim of Kochim, right? V'chule of Kochim. Okay? That's the general rule. Okay? So Sheni is the last stop for Chulin, Shlishi for Truma, and Revi for Kochim. Okay? Now, a person cannot become Tomeh from food. A person, there is an exception, Nivlas Oif Tohoir. And I saw in the Meforshim, I don't have to get you into it because I don't know if it's going to help us when we get to spread out. There is one of Obasatuma, of the Sheretz, there are many Obasatuma. Sheretz is just an example, but I have 10 of them. Nivlas Oif Tohoir, the nevela of a bird, of a fowl that's otherwise edible, but nevela, if a person eats it, not if he holds it, if he eats it, it becomes rishon. That's an exception, yeah? Otherwise, the person does not become tomeh if he touched food or drinks, right? Food and drinks are not av. Rishon is adam, is a person, and that's it. Midoraisa, all these business, oichlim and mashkim, they only make each other tomeh. A person touching a tomeh food does not become tomeh. Okay, 99% of the cases, actually 100%. Only if you eat, leave nivla softar, that's another one. Okay. Came Rabbanon, as we saw and we will see, and they made a gzera. They said that the person who eats, sheni or shlishi le tuma, once you eat it, you put it in your mouth, not if you touch it. If you touch it, danger zone. But once you put it in your mouth, the oichel of, we're going to see, it will be very detailed. Once you put the tome of food into your mouth, let's say sheni we saw, rishon sheni, you're going to see the whole works. You yourself become sheni la tuma. You, a person, becomes sheni la tuma, which means what? If you touch truma, that's what we're scared of. If you, Mr. Person who ate something tome, I'm being very general, something tome, now what's going to happen now? You automatically, your entire body becomes now like a sheni, and if you touch truma, it will become tome, become shlishi, right? And we assume you're not going to want to do that. Before we continue, I'm going to tell you that a lot of the gzeras, as we're going to see, many of the gzeras of Yudches Dover revolve around tuma. We ask the question, what's the story about tuma? So tuma back then was more like, is like lavdi like today's sharing or filtered internet. It's like an issue. Yeah. In other words, people were very careful to be not to make things tome, especially not truma, right? Yeah. And that was always a deterrent for other things not to do. There's a story in the Yerushalmi. I always say this story, unbelievable. There was a guy who was chasing an Ashes ish, well, the worst of air in the Torah. And why did he stop? Because there was no mikveh. He would go to mikveh, it becomes so he needed mikveh afterwards, so he gave up, said sure, and we said his Yetzor was burning him, but it was Seder, Ashes ish, don't you know people only Badat say the Charedis and the Malva Beribis and lie and cheat? I'm glad you're so naive. I wish I was as naive as you. It's a compliment. It's a compliment, Shmuel. Really, take it as a compliment. I wish I was as naive as you are. Halavai. And he's new to the country. Okay, Beseder. So now, Baruch Hashem, Klal Yisrael are amazing people. Famous, really. Jews are amazing. I love you all. I love all of us. Baruch Hashem. Let's start. Correct the Gemara. Mantana. I'm not repeating the list because it will be anyhow detailed now. Second to the last line. Mantana ha'oichel rishoin. Who is the one who said, we're going to see Machlokes Tanoim. Again, let's follow me. Who is the Tana that says, if I ate a food that's Rishon Letuma, it could be. Yes, food can be Rishon Letuma. It won't be Metam a person, but there is such a thing. There is such a creature. Yes, sure. Let's say Sheretz, dead rodent, touched up apple, yellow cheese, whatever, yeah? So now, you can have a situation of Oichel Rishon Letuma, yeah? You can have oichel that's sheni l'tuma, and whatever you ate, rishon or sheni, you made a nice bracha and you ate them. You now become what? You become posul. Sheni. This line means posul. You become sheni. You are the last stop for chulin, and all you do now is metame pasel truma. Yes. What you will do now is make truma posul. Let's stop for truma. But you do not become more than that. You don't become metame. What's metame? Metame is not the last stop. Yeah, metame lo metamu. In other words, you don't become a rishon. You ate rishon or sheni. Funnily enough, either this or that, regardless of the level. Because Tuma Vatar is very much with hierarchy. Here we ignore the hierarchy, right? Whether you ate rishon or sheni, you become sheni, which is possible. You don't become rishon. Even if you ate rishon, which is metame further, you became sheni, which is the last stop, which is only possible. Yeah, because regardless of the level, you become sheni. Who's the one who says that? Which one of the Tanoim, which we're going to see now, is the one who says that? Let's see. The Tana is Rabbi Yeshua. The Tnan. It says in the Mishnah, Mishnah 1 of Mishnah is entire. Rabbi Lezer Oimer. Rabbi Lezer is not our man. Rabbi Lezer says you ate the food that's Rishon, you become Rishon also. You ate food that's Rishon, you become Rishon, meaning what? That now if you touch what? You touch Truma, right? The Truma or Chulin, whatever, it will be two levels. Yeah, you'll touch an apple, the apple will make the water tome, two down. Yeah? And Rashi says that the reason is mentioned in the other Mishnah, so we don't have to say the reason now. He's also not the Tana that is the center of attention now. Sheni, the one who ate Ochel Sheni, that's our guy. He becomes Sheni, as we said. Yeah, and we're going to also see why there is a situation also. Our situation, the Sheni makes Sheni. We'll talk about it later. Ochel Shlishi, very nice. You ate Ochel Shlishi. Let's say you ate what? Truma. That's psula. You become shlishi, and if you touch kochim, they become tome. Yeah. In other words, you all know the saying in English. What do we say? You are what you eat. That's it. That's all gzer darabanan. You ate rishon. You ate sheni. You sheni. You ate shlishi. Each one with the zone of kamina. That is Rabbi Lezer. That's not our man. That's not what we said. Now Rabbi Yeshua is the man. Is a tana of ours. Says Rabbi Yeshua. Oichel rishon ve'ochel sheni. As we said, you ate food that's rishon. Oh, now in Rabbi Yoshua, we have to concentrate more. He's the center of attention. You ate food that's rishon, makes sense. You become sheni. Although it's only midorabanon, midoraisa, there's no such thing of touching food becoming. Rabbanon made like a make-believe thing, right? In other words, a rishon makes sheni. And if you eat sheni, you also sheni. How could that be? I'll tell you how. Because we found sometimes that that's through mashkim. One of the Yudches Dover is that midrabanon, everything I told you here is right, hope, but the mashkim midrabanon, they always jump up. Mashkim, even if like sheni, they jump up to be rishon, and whatever they touch will become sheni. Because mashkim, there are reasons we'll see later on. Yeah. So therefore, a person who touched sheni letuma can become sheni, because if it was mashkim, that would be the way. The mashkim become like rishon, bring him down to be sheni again. Like it's a loop. They become up one, so you who touch them, you become sheni. Yeah, we'll see more later, but that does work. Shlishi. Oh, what about if you ate shlishi latuma? Then you become sheni lakodesh ve'en sheni latuma. Sheni lakodesh. If you ate the shlishi, yeah, who does shlishi affect? Shlishi is truma. Who is truma bothering? Only itself becomes tome and posul. And it's only affecting kochim, right? The one below shlishi, the only one is kochim, not truma and not chulin. So now, if you touch shlishi, you touch the shlishi, you touch, let's say, a truma, and you ate the truma, not touched. You ate the truma, which is shlishi. Then what do you become? You become sheni. You become sheni, but you only affect kochim and not truma. Very funny. You only affect kochim as opposed to the regular rule. You only affect kochim the enchen la truma. You know why? Bechulin shenasu taras truma. Let me explain. We're talking here about a person. What did I say? A person who eats shlishi truma, right? Now this guy, not necessarily that he ate truma. He ate chulin that are treated like truma. Here's a new concept. Sometimes people, let's say kohanim, mainly kohanim or chaverim, as I told you yesterday, a few days ago. Chaverim, you're good, from guy, serious mishpacha, and what do? Everything with Tara. Your wife Nida, she goes to the other tent, sheretz, dead sheretz. It's not a teenagers or a panicking. You're a panicking from the dead sheretz. Why? Stay away, don't touch, don't this, call the goy to deal. Yeah, you don't touch it, nothing. Now, however, the way you keep things betahara, and you should know there was very, very big business in Masechta V'Dezora. If you're a winemaker, yeah, or olive oil maker, you think today it's a problem because of the hechsherim. Today is very easy. Get everything kosher, get the badats to take care of it. Back then, you have to make sure all your workers keep everything betahara. If you have a person who's not Oretz and he touches your olives or your things out, your friends the chaverim won't eat it. It's a big sugyan of a dezora. So now, having said that, there are three levels of how to keep things betahara. Either you keep betahara like chulin, or you keep the chulin betahara pretending as if they were truma, meaning more stricter. You treat the chulin as taras truma. You all know about taras kodesh, all these advertisements, right? Chinuch taras kodesh. What does it mean, really? Taras kodesh literally doesn't mean very from cheder. Taras kodesh means you guard your chulin. You don't eat kochim. You're regular Israel. I mean, you eat it once in a while. I don't know. Yeah, you don't eat kochim, or you're not allowed to eat truma. But you keep those chulin as if they were kodesh. the level of shmira is so tight on the it should be betahara, right? That it's treated as if it was kodesh, which means I don't know. There are enough kaminas between Trum and Kochim, for example. Here's one of kamina. What's enough kamina? What do you mean tight? What do you mean? I'll tell you what it means. There's chulin here. The person touched chulin, right? They were made altaras truma, and therefore they make shlishi. Yeah, there's real truma become shlishi. There's chulin that are treated like truma shlishi. If I'm a regular frum guy, not a brisker chazonish, I tell my family, guys, make sure that no avatuma, right, who touch the food, because below avatuma, right, rishon, that's it, sheni. Sheni is the last stop for chulin. But if I want to be more machmir, what would I do? I'll treat my chulin as if there were truma. Then we have to be careful also from this. And if I treat Harsa Kodesh, even this, right? So now this guy ate something, which is what? This is something which is truma, chulin, which were made like Taras truma, right? And for kochim, they're not good enough. And therefore we say sheni lakodesh. We make him tome, the guy we make him sheni, but we say sheni lakodesh. If he's going to make kochim tome by touching them. Yeah? Let's see it in Rashi. I want to see it in Rashi now, just to see that we all understand it better. Look at Rashi. Shlishi sheni lakodesh. Bechulin. Rashi says that. Let's see Rashi. Shlishi sheni lakodesh. Ha'oichel shlishi. The one who ate oichel, which is shlishi, over here. Oise gufoi, his whole body becomes sheni lakodesh. That's funny. What do you mean sheni lakodesh? Sheni, but only affecting kochim. What does it mean? Not truma. The hosam mefarish taima. It's the reason is explained. Yeah, over there in chulin, in Masechta chulin. The high oichel shlishi. What's oichel shlishi? Chulin shenasu al tairas trumahu. As I just told you, right? It's chulin that were made, treated as if they were truma. Therefore, shlishi b'chlal applies to them. The taharoson. Oh, this is very important. That's that. Now here's a key sentence. Listen carefully. The taharoson tuma yetzel kodesh. The fact that you kept this very much betahara for kochim, it's like tome. In other words, the level of shmira of truma vis-a-vis kochim is nothing. Like, I'll give you a modern day mashal, but that's the Haredis. They are the best hechsher. And the best hechsher, they say, if another hechsher, we're not trying to be snobbish or anything, but if another hechsher gives the hechsher, we don't give a five. We don't care. They told this to me. In other words, they don't. Let's say there's a how do you say the chomer? Let's say there's a crude material. No, there's some basic product that you make the more advanced product from. Well, flour or something, whatever that is. They say if the basic product, the material had hechsher from a different hechsher, except for very few ones like Kadassia or those, we don't rely on that. We want to do our own b'dikas right from the start. For Badat standards, it's kilu not kosher. So here too, for kodshim, although you looked after your things as well as if it was truma, for kodshim it's kilu it's not tohar, and therefore hilkach shmira dida lav shmira hilinian kodesh. When you guarded them, the level of truma, it's not guarded well for kodshim. For kodshim, as if it was not guarded. The chayshinan, here comes the punchline. We're concerned. Wow. We're saying this was shlishi l'truma because we're so wary of, we are now the kodshim eaters. We don't want to treat things like kodshim. I'm a guy, super. I treat my chulin as if they're kodshim. So if I touch this, which was guarded like truma, I say, maybe it's rishon. I don't know how far to be choishesh. Maybe I'll guard it as if it was rishon l'truma, therefore I'm a sheni. He's coming to explain how come shlishi makes sheni. That shouldn't say crazy, yeah? We hardly ever such a thing that you pop up, you go up a level. Because that rishon, that shlishi is so nothing for the level of kochim, we think maybe it's like rishon, and rishon made you sheni. Now, up until now was the hard part, to get the map of exactly what. Now it's going to be much easier. Now we're going to understand why. Why did they, regardless of the levels now, leave the levels alone. Why is it that if a person ate, not if he touched, he ate something which is rishon hasheni letum'ah, then touching truma will make the truma tome. Why is that? Oichel rishon, oichel sheni, My time it goes over Rabbanon Tuma. Why did Rabbanon decree a Tuma on that? Answers the Gemara. The Zimnin, sometimes the Ochil Ochlin Tmein. Sometimes the person, as much as he's a Chaver, we are still concerned that he may eat Oichel that are Tomet, to one level or the other. The Shakil Mashkin the Truma, you tell me, sometimes you eat this like very dry cracker, dry herring, and while you're chewing, you feel like having a drink at the same time. That happened also to people in times of the Mishnah. Guess what? And you take mashke of truma, either that would only happen to a kohen, by the way, or Israel who keeps pulling like truma. The shadi lepume, you'll throw it into your mouth. You'll take a sip. The pasi lehu, inside your mouth will be World War II. You know why? Because inside your mouth, what do you have? You have a tome thing, right? Rishon Hasheni, and that will make the mashkim tome. Yeah. So you are tummy, you're metame, you're defiling, you're impuring what? The truma that's in your mouth, the mashke. And that's why they said you should not touch the truma. Why can't they just say don't touch the truma? Yeah. In other words, they want you not to even touch. Yeah. In other words, you're in the middle of eating this cracker, which is Rishon Hasheni letum'ah, which midoraisa does make you tummy. I'm a chaver, I'm very, very frum. I have a kippah that big. Yeah. So what? Midoraisa, before this gzera, I'm allowed to eat as much tome food that I want. Lechatchila, the food shouldn't become tome. Okay, thank you. Give me musar. But lemaisa, midoraisa, I'm allowed to eat the tome food. They won't make me tome. So why does it make me metame the truma? Because we're scared if I touch the truma, what's the next stage? I want to take that Coke, that whiskey, that whatever, even water, become tome, and drink them. What's going to happen then? Inside my mouth, the truma will become tome from the food. Yeah? That's inside its tummy, and that's not that's midoraisa would happen. Yes, of course, because up to shlishi it could happen. That's why they said don't touch. Now they didn't say don't touch. They say that you make it tummy, because if you tell people don't touch, they will touch. Back then, and this I remember from I'm saying from a few sources of the Rishonim. I don't have time now to explain the whole thing about Tzuras Takona and Sibas Takona. The way the Tzura of Takona, the way the Chacham were metaken Takonas was tuma. You tell a person that's tummy, don't touch. We all know the joke about the Shiva Bacher, right? He used to steal his milk, whatever, his chocolate milk. If they stole, and then he wrote Chol Vacuum, nobody stole it anymore. Some things, people stay away from. Chol Vacuum, who cares? Chol Vacuum, everyone's out. Yeah, in other words, that's a don't touch kind of thing. You make it tome, finished. So you won't touch it. If you won't touch it, he won't pop it into his mouth, the drinks, and then everything will be good. Now, the next Zera. Now, it's going to be pretty easy. We're going to go one by one, all the Yud Ches Dover Xeros, at least those that have to do with Tuma, we're going to see today. Shoyse Mashkin Tmein. Oh, now we said, a person who drinks Mashke that's Tome, my time it goes over Rabbanon on Tuma. Why did Rabbanon make a Xera on a person who drinks Mashkim that are Tome? Oh, now I want to stress what we said before. If he drinks the Mashkim Tmein, he becomes what? The Mashkim become like a Rishon. Because if mashkim become tome, and soon you'll see that they would, what do they become? Rishon, and then he becomes sheni. He becomes sheni, and then he passes the truma. The zimnin sometimes just the opposite, the exact opposite. The shati mashkin tmein. Sometimes the person drinks a tome drink and miikordin. It's fine. I'm allowed to eat tome drinks, tome wine. Yeah. The shakil oichlin the truma. He may take the food of truma, the shadi lepume. In the middle of drinking the wine, you throw some cracker inside of truma, the shadi lepume, and now you throw it into your mouth. The pasi lehu. You know what's going to happen inside your mouth? Oy vavoy, catastrophe. Why? Now it's the other way around. Now the bad kid, the one who's mashpia l'ro, is a mashkim. The mashke that's tome and became rishon, by the way, makes the food, tome. Right? The food of truma makes it tome. What's the problem to make truma tome? Isur doraisa. Isur doraisa. Says Rashi, because one could say, machpat. I don't care. Let me remain tahor, right? I'm tahor. Food, drinks, midoraisa, any rishon, any shlish, I put it into my mouth, doesn't make a difference. I can be the frumest chaver and it's okay. Elamai, we're concerned that inside his mouth, either to put the food first or the drinks first, what's going to happen? They will become tome. Who cares? It's terrible. Because if the guy is a kohen, and he's drinking truma, that's the idea. There's an isum doraisa to make truma tome. It says es mishmeres trumoisai, says Rashi. One should keep the truma pure betahara, and you may not. So that's why there were guys there. Don't, if you ate something tome, don't even touch the truma. You touch the truma food, the next thing will be in your mouth, and then you'll make it tome, and there will be an isum doraisa already. That's why they made that gzera b'shamai, and the Hillel agreed. Preg the Gemara hainuhach. Why did you have to make two gzeras? Maybe you should say, tell me that if I ate something tome, yeah, I make the drink tome, and I will automatically know, vice versa, if I drank, then the food will become tome. Why did we have to separate the two separate gzeras? Yeah, don't, yeah, if you eat the food, you make the drink tome. If you drink the drinks, you make the food tome. Why, apostle, whatever. Why did we have to make it into two separate stories? At the end of the day, it's all the same. Answers the Gemara, no. Ma'al if I wouldn't have detailed it, you know what people would have thought? Ha shchichi v'haloi shchichi. That is a reality today. Which one is more shachiach? Shachiach means common. Yeah, you know that. In other words, it's much more common to have the dry food in your mouth and want to drink something. If you drink, it's very hard to put food inside. So as we know, Chazal usually are not goizer in cases that are not shachiach. Things that are not common, Chazal are not goizer. So maybe here there wouldn't be goizer. I wouldn't have derived it automatically. Mashmalon they did. Here they're very machmir, and even though it's less common, yeah, I saw the Ritva says that enochinami, a person that has a big mouth, he can have the drink and the food together. Some people it applies to, so it's shayach, and therefore they were goizer. They were very machmir to Mevatar back then. Next. Haba roisha verube b'mayim she'uvin. Now, I did not tell you that yesterday, although Rashi did, but I'll tell you now. A person who is basically having a bath. Yeah, he's coming, roisha veruboi, his head and most of his body are coming into a vessel, a kli, whatever you call it, a bath, for example, a bathtub of mayim she'uvin, regular water. They were not kosher lemikveh. Mayim she'uvin, the water, they were drawn water from the pipe system. Somebody brought with a bucket, yeah, and you become tome. However, huge caveat here. They only talk here about a person who has been to the mikveh today. In other words, a person who went to the mikveh to dip, yeah, and on the same day had a bath, yeah, he took a bath. Such a person becomes tome. What kind of tuma? Becomes sheni, and he passes the tuma. He becomes sheni l'tuma. My time gazuba rabbanon tuma. Why is that? Omar of Bevai, Omar of Asi. By the way, it's Bevai. Yeah, that's the name. Omar of Bevai, Omar of Asi. Shebetchila, you know what was the common practice by us many years ago? It was very common for people to be toivel in water of the water of of the cave, which were mechunosin. They were kosher water for tvila because they were rainwater. Rainwater is kosher for most tvilas, except for Zav and Zava and Mitzoyer. Yeah, Besruchin, they were. Have you ever been to the mikveh Friday afternoon late? Yeah, all the descriptions are not really nice. Yeah, the kids are people would be toivel in that lovely tohar yet they kosher but verstunk. Yeah, Besruchin. Now they believe it. What they were not interested in coming back home to the wife and children all smelly. What would they do? But you know, it's ma'im she'uvin. So they would take a shower, actually. The original thing was not a bath, but a shower, ma'im she'uvin, right? We're going to see that too. Noisnin alehen. They would take ma'im she'uvin and would pour it on their heads to clean themselves from the dirty water of the mikveh. So far, so good. So what's the problem? You know what happened later on? Later on, the later stage, itchilu v'asom keva. All of a sudden, it became like a kavua thing. It became like a set, fixed thing that everyone who goes to mikveh right away goes to the shower to shower after that. Then gozru aleim tuma. Then they said two gzeres right away. First of all, if you take a shower or a bath on the day of the real problem was they took the shower, and soon we'll see a shower. There were guys that even not on the day of tuma, but because shower and bath are similar. So if somebody takes a bath on the day of going to mikveh, then he becomes tomid. Why? But that was, I'm just prefacing, what was the problem that made it to a set thing? So what? Let him go to mikveh and then shower. What do you want people to stink? Excuse me. But Says the Gemara, my keva. What's the problem of what's the keva? What do you mean they made it to a set fixed thing? People started misinterpreting things. People started thinking wrongly. People thought that the main mikveh are not the ones who make you tar alone. You need both. People thought it's halacha, as it happens many times, right? All kinds of shtuyot people think is halacha. I can give you a list of things, but I won't. Yeah. In other words, they thought that the mikveh only works if afterwards you wash yourself with a nice, fragrant, good water. So that's why we said it should be tome, to stop that, yeah, to stop that wrong line of thinking, yeah. So then Chachamim said, no, the bath actually makes you tome. You have to go to mikveh again. Amar Rav, but Rav is asking Abaye, Amar Rav, wait a minute, who cares? Mind of Kamina, who cares? Hakatavli behanach. At the end of the day, machpat lecha, what do you care? It's true that they also take a nice shower, and they think a shower is halacha. But at the end of the day, they do know that it's necessary and essential to go to the mikveh. So everyone would go to the mikveh, and then what? And then they would go to the shower. What's wrong with that? Why do you have to make them tameh? They do keep the mikveh with all the pitchafkes and all the chumras. Here comes the punchline. Show you people would think as follows. People would kind of, with their interesting logic, would say, whenever you go to mikveh, what do you have to do? You first go to the dirty water, which is not good, and then you go to the clean water, which is the only thing that's metayr you. They completely mixed it up in a very, very dangerous way. They thought that the main mikveh are not metayr you, and only the what? Only the shower water is metayr you. That's horrible. Because at some point people will say, hey, wait a second, I can skip the first one. I saw in the deer shoe, it's amazing. I've been learning this more many times. In this deer shoe, they have a lot of things with Kiddushim. They said people thought that the first one is preparation for the mikveh. You know, like the women, right? They spend a long time in the bath and all that before the mikveh. They thought that their dirty water is the hachana for the mikveh to remove the chatzitza. It stinks, but it's pure, or whatever. They thought this is like the first stage, like, removes the chatzitza. Now you go to the mikveh, which was very wrong. So they would go, yeah, but at the end of the day, they got it completely wrong. Or maybe they thought, stam, it's a normal thing. So they would only go to the shower, not to the mikveh. And therefore, we had to nip it at the bud. We had to stop it. And we said, no, if you go to the bath on the day of the mikveh, you become tomeh. What kind of tomeh? You become a sheni. Here it doesn't say why dafka mitame truma. You become a sheni, and that is a way to deter you and explain to you that this is obviously not what makes you tar. Because Chazal say, no, it makes you tomeh. That was the only way to hammer it to people, to bring it home to people, that clearly it doesn't make you tar, it makes you tomeh. Right? That was the way. Now, yeah. Oh, first of all, very nice. Lemaisa, oh, yeah, very good. We'll see it soon. And I have a lot to say about that. Thank you for the very good question. I want to give you a detailed answer. Let's continue to the next stage and we'll talk about that. Next zera is V'toyer shenoflo al roisha v'ruboy shlosh shalugin maim she'uvin. A person that takes a shower and on his head and his body, he has like a shower they fall on his head, shlosh shalugim of maim she'uvim. A loig is between, it's more or less between Reb Chaim Noah and Chazon Ish, it's more or less half a liter. Yeah, half a liter is a loig. So a liter and a half of maim shuvim that's falling you, like a shower, makes you tomeh, even, David, even if you're not on the day of the mikveh, any day of the year. You go to the shower, you become tomeh. Not today. Yeah. My time goes of Rabbanon Tuma. Why did Rabbanon make that Tuma? It's not the day of the mikveh. It's tam any day. Zok the Gemara, which means, let me now explain the whole thing right from the start. The real problem was that, let's leave the bath alone and now talk about the shower. What would people do after mikveh? Go take a shower. A lot of people do that today too, right? After the mikveh, they go to the shower. Very nice. Now, the chash was people would misunderstand it and they would think that the showers makes you tar. Good. I mean, not good. So Chachami made the gzera. Don't shower. If you shower on, you can, but if you shower on the day of the mikveh, on that very day, you become Tomei, you become Posel, right? Therefore, go to the mikveh again and don't shower again. Yeah, make sure you go to a clean mikveh. Now, then they came with a new gzera, yeah, a new gzera, and they said even if you shower the rest of the year, not on mikveh day, you wake up the morning after you shower, then too you become Tomei. Why? Why do you need that? What? That's already not mikveh day. What do you want from me that every time I take a shower I become Tomei? So which means we are making, let me say this to you loud and clear. We are making gzera legzera. The Rambam says, Iloi holo kamaho means if we're not geyser on shower on any normal day, people would not listen to us on the real bad shower on the day of the mikveh. Many times they make gzera legzera, and that is in all kinds of cases where the whole rule of en geyser legzera legzera, says the Rambam in the Perush Mishnah and Perak Revi of Shabbos, is very limited. Many times Rabbanon decided right from the start to making two gzeres, one to support the other. And that's an excellent example. Why? If I want to make the second gzera, the first gzera won't stand. And that, my friend, that's also what they made on the bath, right? Because bath and shower are similar and people won't know the difference. However, the bath, they were only geyser on the day of the mikveh, not on the other days, because that's too far apart. Both bath, which is not what they did, and also not mikveh day, that already is okay. So if you take a bath, you don't have to go to mikveh afterwards. A shower, you do. This, by the way, doesn't apply today. For example, I'll give you one example, which Tosfos Reed says in Perek Sheni at the beginning. He says over there, Tosfos Reed, when you have a gzera, which is very dangerous, in other words, you're about to do the avera right now, so we do gzera like gzera. Some gzeras are you may do something next week. Some gzeras are imamsh in danger zone, and then you make another gzera for that. When we get there, I'll tell you. I'll give you more explanations. The sefer, next one. We made a gzera, a sefer Torah, and also there's the debate in Maseches Megillah, very relevant. Maybe the Nevi'im also. Sefer, by time it goes over Rabbanon Tuma. Rabbanon made the gzera that if a sefer touches food, yeah, truma, food, that truma becomes what? Becomes tomei. Unbelievable. Sefer Torah causes tuma to the truma that it touches. Why is that? Omar Mishalshim. Again, history. People would hide, would store the truma food next to the Sefer Torah because they said, "What a beautiful shidduch." They're both holy. Sefer Torah is holy. The food is holy. In v'agefen, min v'agefen. But you know what happened next? Given the kachozu the kosel de pseida, because all of a sudden the Sefer Torah would start be eaten by mice. Because as much as truma is holy, the mice don't really know that. Yeah, maybe the mice are kohanim, the kohanim mice, I don't know, but the mice ate the truma, and at the same time would know a little bit on the Sefer Torah. Chas v'shalom, horrible. Gozu be'Rabbanon tuma. Rabbanon, again, unbelievable. Instead of telling people, guys, instead of being pachkevilim with big black letters, don't store your Sefer Torah next to the truma, they said, no, that won't work. That won't work. People's psychology is all about truma. If you say that the Sefer Torah is metame the truma, yeah, you don't keep tuma, don't accept your kids in cheder. Like that, that's a thing, yeah? That is something that really deters people, something like almost physical, and therefore they made a gzera that the Sefer Torah is metame the truma. And that way, they will stay away. Yeah, the two. Now, next one, v'hayadayim. Believe it or not, although the Gemara will reject it, it sounds over here as if Rashi says it quite clearly. What's yadayim? Netilas yadayim. The gzera to do netilas yadayim before you eat bread or before you eat wet food, the gzera is here in Yud Ches Davo, Mazel Tov. Here's a source for netilas yadayim. Which daf are we on? Yad, Yudalid. That's how we know. Now we're going to go on for the rest of our lives. V'ayadayim. If there's shayadayim is konyos, and the hands tend to touch people inadvertently. You see it more by you religious people, by the way. The what? They touch, under the shirt. They touch, not an issue of tznius, of cleanliness. Yeah, let's say you touch under your underarm, whatever, and this to scratch and this and that, or even the hair. The hands are not always clean. And then what's going to happen? You're going to touch truma with the hands that are unclean. That's not respectful for the truma, right? And either you're a kohen, or now the real gzera originally until Sedai was on kohanim, but then we're going over the whole of Klal Yisrael because of the kohanim. Unbelievable. Yeah, yes. I saw that also in other places. Yeah, the gzera is kohanim not to eat truma with dirty hands. So before a kohen eats truma, he has to wash his hands. I'm not a kohen, but everyone has to do the same, like kohanim like to support them. That everyone else does it, they would do that too. Yeah. Now, okay, so far we got a lot done, right? Yadayim should be washed, not mikveh, because they're mitasek. They deal with the dirty place, the toilet, whatever. So you have to wash them before you eat. Kana. Now comes the brisa about something we didn't yet say. Af yadayim abois machmas sefer poislus is a truma mishum darapanach, which means yadayim that come because of the sefer, which means let's say your hands touch. Are you allowed to do that, by the way? Your hands touch your bare hands touch the sefer Torah mamish. Then they make the truma tome. Is that okay to touch the sefer Torah with your hands? No, that's exactly the point. Haha. Whoever holds Sefer Torah naked, meaning your hands are naked, and so is the Sefer Torah. You have, flesh to flesh touch. Your hands in the Sefer Torah. Nikbar orum. They will bury you naked. Well, everyone's buried naked. Orum sal kadaitach. What's the problem with that? Ela omab zel orum beloy mitzvah. Oy vavoy. You touch the Sefer Torah, then in Shamayim you'll be naked without mitzvahs. Is it that bad to touch the Sefer Torah? I understand my hands will not be clean. It's not respectful for the Sefer Torah to touch it with unclean hands. But is it so bad that none of the mitzvahs I did my whole life, they count? In other words, that's the idea. If you go to the Sefer Torah, without your covering your hands or using something, then that mitzvah doesn't count. The mitzvah of glila doesn't count if you touch it. Maybe it's a mitzvah of kriyas satar. I'm not sure. What did they write in the thing? I'm not sure. I think it's mitzvah of glila, if I'm not mistaken. So in any case, well, the problem is obviously, what did we say? We say yadayim are tomeh. Now we're saying yadayim who touch the Sefer Torah are tomeh. What do you mean? Frag the Gemara. Can we continue one more minute? Yeah. Frag the Gemara. Hi gozo bereisha. You get what I'm saying? There's every yad is tomeh. You have to wash it before you eat truma. And then we say, no, if your hands mistakenly, they shouldn't have, wrongly touched Sefer Torah, then the metamed the truma. What's going on? Hai gozo bereisha. Which one of the two gzeras were the goyzer first, chronologically, historically? Ile maho gozo bereisha. If they were goyzer bereisha, our gzera of every yad, that all yadayim are tomeh, kemadach gozo bereisha hatul ameli, right? If they said that all hands are tomeh, so what are you marviach by saying that hands that touch the Sefer Torah are tomeh? What do you mean? Anyhow, the hands are tomeh, they need to wash them. That's not a deterrent for me not to touch the Sefer Torah. Anyhow, my hands unwashed, right? They can't touch food. So what did you gain? Ela ach gozo bereisha, tada gozo b'kula yadayim. Was the other way around. First of all, they made the gzera that if your hands touch the Sefer Torah, which is a no-no, what happens then? Oh, your hands touch Sefer Torah? Oh, that was wrong, my friend. Now, please wash them before you touch the truma. Now they made another gzera. Afterwards, they extended it and they said, "Kulhu yadayim," any shape and form of hands, with Sefer Torah, without Sefer Torah. Every time before you're a kohen, you eat your truma, you have to wash your hands and then eat the truma. And this is the source of Til Sedam of today. You download them with base tomorrow. You download with base. Atzlocha. Today was a lot of Tumah v'Tahara. Baruch Hashem. May we be zoiche to be mekayim it very soon. Mitoich kedusha v'Tahara. Thank you very much, Atzlocha Brocha. Thank you so much for coming. It's really, really very important. This year is continuing. I really, really appreciate it. Shkoich.